Number 49 for Footscray is Brian Cordy. Number 3 is Jimmy Cracker, who was one of the early season favourites for the Brownlow medal. But of course, he was suspended for 6 weeks on a kicking charge. He's back today for the first time. McCann and Kennedy also having a little bit of a jostling match to start proceedings. And there's fire in the eyes there, isn't there? Goal umpire subsequently coming out to talk to them. That's down at the Jollymont end goal.
Well, it looks as though Kennedy, the fullback, is the aggressor. McCann just about let one go and hit his own teammate that time.
Not just about, he hit Hodgson in the goal.
That's right. Well, you can bet your life it's never the forward that's been the antagonist, because he's trying to get away from his man. So Kennedy is trying to upset this guy now, McCann, by just doing a little bit of this niggling, and it's pretty typical in finals, Bob.
It certainly is, Lou, and that's what the game's all about, if you can offset them a little bit.
First quarter of the 1985 first semi-final from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Umpire Glenn James comes in to put the ball down. North Melbourne kicking to the left, Footscray to the right on the opening turn. McDonald and Purser. It's won by Purser, knocked back by Arsiri. Steele gets offloaded. A real scramble at centre field there. Players reeling out of packs, and this could be on for young and old before the game gets too long into the first quarter. Umpire Glenn James has found a free kick. He's given it to North Melbourne. It's taken by Holt, who played a very good game last week for North Melbourne. Glendinning, Brownlow medalist, fires it out to Hodgman. Hodgman up the full forward. McCann has to try and punch the ball clear. Phil Cracker can't get out of the pack at all. Chance for Jonas, or he dropped the ball, seemed to be in the clear. Hardy from the goal square. Long clearing kick around the boundary line. Props just inside it. Chance for Glendinning again. Looks for a hand pass, picked up by Hodgman. Balks one, balks two, got caught. Was it too high? I think it was. And the first free kick of the game, or second, going to Hodgman at left half forward flank. High tackle, Bob.
Yes, it certainly was, Pete. And Glendinning and Hodgman already in the thick of things. And I was surprised last week that Hodgman was on the bench. It's good to have your experienced players out there at the start.
And Footscray didn't agree with that. Their two most experienced players started on the bench against Hawthorn. Purser at the back. McCann in front takes the mark.
Great mark that time. He positioned himself beautifully for that, Bob.
Yes, but I thought Purser should have been trying to punch from behind there, Lou, and making an elementary error. As we watch on replay, Purser...
Tried to outmark
Well, no, he did try and punch, but it was a poor effort to try and, the way he went about it.
Good use of the body by McCann.
That's right, Pete.
He had the front position and was making sure that no one else was going to get it. He's only 15 metres out. Oh, hit the post! Shocking kick. And McCann hangs his head in shame. One that North Melbourne should have got 2 minutes into the first quarter. The Kangaroos lead by a point.
Well, that goal would have been a very important one at North Melbourne, because it would have lifted the side no end as the ball comes back by Hardy out there towards the wing position. Foster at the back. It's punched away from Foster. Going after it now is Hawkins, but the ball is out of bounds about 75 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. And of course, North Melbourne have been struck with a tragic blow, losing their most inspiring captain, and matter of fact, one of the most inspiring captains in the game, as Demetrio picks up the ball in Schimmelbusch. Picked up now by Larkin. Up there was the full forward position. This is Kennedy coming out to take the mark at full back. Quickly plays on. Goes wide, looking for Hawkins. He's found him. Hawkins out there at half-back. That's a shocking kick, but it'll be okay. Cordy smothers it pretty well. Picks it up, a hand pass out wide. Foster grabs the ball on the run in the wing position over the half-forward line now. Ramsey goes the punt, successful. Picked up again by Larkin, who's moving around the ground pretty well. Comes out wide. As they go for the ball to be picked up by Holt. He goes wide looking for Cracker, and this is Jimmy Cracker coming back after 6 weeks. Got one in the back. They get a free kick, there's no doubt about that. And this fella could be the key to North Melbourne winning today. That's a good pass, and Hodgman's got the mark in the forward pocket about 40 metres out from goal. He's right on the boundary line. And I think I'll agree with Bob. You can't put this guy on the bench. He's got a ton of experience. He's a brilliant player at his best. And he's got to be out there with the action. He's gone for a pass. It's okay and marked here by Ramsey, who's come right down from the back pocket.
Not really much closer to goal though, Lou, is he?
He's further away actually, and I think if I'd have been Hodgman, I would have had a shot. He's looking for a lead here from Cracker. He's got it. And that's Jimmy Cracker with the ball. That's Phil, I should say.
Beautiful.
Well, they both look alike. There's no doubt about that.
Beautiful lead by Phil Cracker. He made the position into the space, and that's where Footscray made their mistake last week. They did not give any space for their full forward to lead to, and Beasley, as a result, was not a very good player, but Cracker finding the space on that occasion.
He's only about 20 metres out from goal, directly in front. He's got a great chance of kicking their first goal, and there it is, right through the middle. So it's North Melbourne, 1 goal, 7 points to Footscray yet to score into this quarter by 4.5 minutes.
Phil Cracker saying thank you to Roy Ramsey, and Ramsey coming right down the ground with Tony Bahaja, and so maybe Bahaja making a mistake of coming too far up the field, and then thus making an attacking player. As we watch on replay, Phil Cracker from behind the goals, no mistake.
First goal of the game coming up to North Melbourne as we approach the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. North Melbourne by 7 points in the first semi-final. Again, the Kangaroos through Larkin getting the ball out of the centre, but it's picked up by Kellett for Footscray. Kellett to half forward for the Bulldog. Bandit just about had that mark. Down goes Sewell. Hurried hand pass. Bandit trying to retrieve the situation. Breaks one tackle. Short pass. Bad one. Umpire calls play on. Holt it was to centre wing. Jonas. High. Hodgman. In towards the square. Kennedy, yes. Bounce could have been awkward for him, but he handled it okay. Arsiri comes in quickly. And North Melbourne at the moment, Bob, just showing a little bit more desperation than Footscray, aren't they?
I think Footscray just making elementary mistakes at the moment. That hand pass from Kennedy was not a good one, and they're putting themselves under pressure by just not doing things quite correctly.
Boundary throw in, left forward pocket for North Melbourne. Knocked down to Malin, picked up by Brad Hardy. His kick is a short one. Chance for Hawkins, who played a great game for Footscray last week. I thought he was their best player. Two number 7s clash. Over the boundary line goes Steele. The ball goes with him. And again, we'll see a boundary throw in left half forward flank for the Kangaroos.
I think Hawkins may have changed positions. Bobby may be on this wing now instead of the other outer side of the ground.
I think they might be swapping sides, Lou. Daniels is on Demetrio. Hawkins, he has got Steele as his opponent.
Malin kicks it back toward the centre wing position. 3 players go down. The umpire has found a free kick. It's going Footscray's way. And the recipient of the kick will be Tony Bahaja on centre wing. Bahaja, short pass, not a good one. Hawkins, though, takes it for Footscray into the open spaces. Should be ideal for Beasley, but he doesn't get the favourable bounce. Ball knocked to the ground. Chance for Demetriou now. Well, high tackle down there on Law.
Down the right. He's through it, Pete.
Through it, he says. Well, what was your decision on home on that one? Because I thought he got grabbed too high.
One of the surprise moves here today, they got Fairley playing at full back. I thought Crocker may have had that job.
Yes, but Fairley went to centre half back against McClure last week and did an excellent job, Lou, so I think they're happy to have him down there in defence.
Daniels, chance for Footscray's first score. Looks like a goal from here. Great shot. 1 point the difference in the first semi-final. 7 plays 6 in favour of North Melbourne.
I noticed that they've got Crocker, I think, on Edmund, have they, or not?
Yes, well, Edmund's almost like a full forward. He's an excellent mark and everything else. And we see the tackle there, a good tackle by Daniels, and well deserved the free kick.
Here it comes again. Now, he had the ball, put his head down and threw it away.
So I agree with the decision.
Covered off and McLean on as we approach the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. 1 point the difference in the first semi-final from the MCG. Knocked down by Perza. Can't find the Footscray rover. Royal trying to burrow in. Holt putting a high tackle on Malin. Malin has the ball, comes up with it, but umpire Glenn James has decided that will be a bounce just wide of the centre circle.
8 minutes gone of the first quarter, the first semi-final for 1985, and it's a point the difference in favour of North. Oh, Malin ducked his head, nearly had it knocked off. He'll get a free kick. But the umpires paid the advantage rule, and Footscray going to attack. And there's a great mark by Bandit. He could be a danger player today. Bandit about 55 metres out from goal. On that half-forward flank, there's a lead from Beasley. He's got it. And they've got to give him room. If they give him room, he'll kick a buttle here today.
Umpire James had already paid the free kick before the mark.
Yep.
He said that Beasley was being held well back before he even got to the mark. And this is why he's having the kick only 15 metres out from goal.
Well, OK, he's got a bonus there, a double bonus actually, a chance to score a goal right from the point of the square. The kick-off mark. So this should put Footscray in front. There it is on its way, and that's Beasley's first goal. And Footscray moved to 2 goals, 12 points. To North Melbourne, 1 goal, 1-7. Well, Bob, as we said last week, you've got to give this guy room. If you don't give him room, he's got no hope. They crucified him last week, the rest of the Footscray's forwards.
Yes, but to their credit, the Footscray selectors have realised that Brad Hardy was one of the players that wasn't helping in the situation, and he's back in defence, as we see the Footscray brains trust right now.
And you look down there on the Footscray forward line, you'll find that Beasley's down there on his own. There's not a player within a mile of him. We're back in the centre again. Just over 9.5 minutes gone. Footscray in front, 12 plays 7. And we see Marlon coming out of the pack. Over it goes now to McLean, just coming back on the ground as he boots the ball long over the half-forward line. Players set themselves. Cyril nearly grabbed that one. A bit of a scrimmage developing. Picked up by Edmund. He's grabbed, but he still says play on the umpire. Crocker can't get clear. They're going in pretty hard as it's picked up now by Wallace. A hurried kick up there towards Beasley. Having a wrestling match there with Fairley, and the umpire's calling a free kick here. Dropping the ball against Beasley. That was a most, well, that was a rather funny decision.
He was calling play on right throughout, and Beasley had the ball and took far too long to get rid of it.
McDonald over to Demetrio. No relation to Corkamilus as the ball goes out wide towards that wing position. There we see Jonas grab the Hawkins pretty strongly. Now it's Steve McPherson getting a one-handed kick back there towards that centre wing position. Picked up here by Wallace. Wallace's kick is a long one over the half-forward line. The players set themselves. No one can take the mark. That's McDonald coming in with a good hand pass over to Law. Law's out there at half-back. Goes for a long kick back towards the wing position. A back fly. Glendenning couldn't get that affiliate trip that time. It'll pay it. It'll go to Holt. And he played a brilliant game last week against Carlton. And a magnificent kick. There's a pass now. Look, right down McCann's throat. And I would say that Holt's one of the best kicks in the business. It's the kick on its way. It's a long kick. Look at this kick into the goal square. The pack set themselves. The ball pushed away now. And it's grabbed by McPherson. A short pass, and Hardy's got the ball out there at half-back for Footscray.
Brad Hardy from the half-back flank goes for a hand pass to Royal. Oh, very solid bump. That's Cordy that went down like a sack of spuds. He hasn't moved. And no free kick from the umpire. He is out cold.
Still hasn't moved.
Forward it is, Pete. Forward.
Michael Ford. We might be able to take a look at that again, Bob, and watch Ford.
It was a hip and shoulder.
Looked like a hip and shoulder, so that's why the umpire, I guess, didn't pay a free kick, but a very solid knock. Watch it from another angle.
Lifted about 3 feet in the air too, Pete.
And Michael Ford in all sorts of problems.
Well, let's hope the boy's okay, because
they're calling for a stretcher, but
we love to see these heavy bumps, but we don't want to see anybody injured, do we?
That's exactly right, Lou.
He might have swallowed his tongue. The doctor was out there as the stretcher is also being brought, and I might add quickly, so that is certainly a plus, because sometimes these take a long time to get out onto the ground. Let's watch it again. Ford
that's
very
a fair
solidly by Larkin.
Well, Larkin went down too, so there was no attempt by Larkin to lift the elbow or anything like that.
No, had there been, of course, he would have had his number taken, but a fair bump, albeit a very, very solid one.
As Lou said, let's just hope he's okay.
Well, that's right. He may have Wigan coming onto the ground, but he may have been caught on the chin there with that bump, Pete. And
he hit the ground pretty solidly.
I know he did. Yes, he certainly did. And the big feature of our game is the hard bumping, but no one ever wants to see anyone hurt like that.
Now, play won't continue until the stretcher is off the ground. Now, Callett is also injured, I understand, and we might have some news on that. In fact, I think while the stretcher is coming off the ground, we'll go down to Peter Donegan on the boundary line. Pete, what news on Callett?
Well, he limped off the ground about 3 or 4 minutes ago, Pete, but apparently it's only a knock on the thigh. He's got some fairly heavy strapping on his left thigh, but it is only a knock, and he should be okay to come back on, and I'll get a report on Michael Ford as soon as I possibly can.
Yes, I was about to say, Pete, when you can, we'll come back to you. As the trainers are working on Callett's leg at the moment. He is, of course, on the interchange bench. I would think that Ford would be taken straight to the rooms to be looked at by the doctor. Let's hope that nothing is too seriously wrong. I dare say he's going to have a nice old headache. And the stretcher making its way off the ground. Peter Donegan will have some news on him shortly. Meantime, play will continue. Could be a long first quarter now, because time on, of course, being added while the stretcher is on the field. Umpire Glenn James
I wouldn't be too keen on that injury of Callett's on the thigh or the hamstring are always dangerous injuries, particularly in final matches, Bob, because you're really stretching out.
You may have just got a corky loo,
Pretty well heavily packed, isn't it?
Say, and the ice, of course, to stop the bleeding.
14 minutes gone in the first quarter. Play continues. A couple of bad plays for Footscray. They lead at the moment 12
It's on
points
behind
to 7.
play.
Yes, there's a nice old wrestle up there on the centre wing position. Down goes Groenewegen. And Law, holding his head, comes out of it. By Glenn James might have his hands full here very quickly. Temper's becoming a little bit frayed. A 15-metre penalty being applied. Donald McDonald has the free kick on left centre wing. McDonald goes long, trying to find McCann. He's got two opponents to beat. Knocked away by Kennedy towards the boundary line. Hardy over the line with the ball. And it will be a boundary throw in left forward pocket for North Melbourne. 5 points the difference. 12 plays 7. Purser and McCann. Down to Jonas with Bahaja. Solid tackle on Steele by Bahaja. Umpire has played a free kick for holding the ball. And it will go to McPherson.
Pete, these first semi-finals are always the most, let's say, violent games or vicious games because it's a cutthroat game. It's a do-or-die match for either side.
Yes, it's mothballs for the loser. Jonas just can't quite make enough ground to stop the ball going over the boundary line in front of the players' race. And we will see a boundary throw in at the 15.5-minute mark first quarter.
And the difference is 5 points in favour of Footscray. The ball back to the ground now as Siri gets a hurried kick, but it's smothered. Punched away that time by Purser. Back to Hawkins at half-back. A long kick over the half-forward line. But Crocker got one hand, but couldn't hold the mark. Groenewegen couldn't pick it up either. The umpire will ball this up down towards Footscray's half-forward line, about 70 metres out from their goal. Footscray had 2 goals, 12 points to North Melbourne, 1 goal, 7 points. And of course, McCann had a very easy shot, missed the shot and hit the post from about 5 metres out. Malin trying to thread his way through the pack, or force his way through the pack, and the umpire will board it up there on the centre wing position. And the crowd building up round about the 50,000 mark today, and I think most people thought there'd only be 40,000 today, Bob.
It's a good crowd, Lou, and I think they realise that one of these sides are out of it after today, so the last chance of seeing them is right here.
Well, he missed that completely that time. Smith got a heavy bump, but coming out of the pack once again as Holt. He started off very well. It's Larkins, I should say. Back it goes there towards the half-forward line. A free kick will go to North Melbourne's Glendenning. Glendenning with a quick kick down there towards the full forward position. McCann got one. The umpire said, no, it's play on. Going out it now as Cracker gets the ball back there to Steele. Did he throw it or not? A pass comes over there towards his brother Phil. Down goes little Asiri, goes for a hand pass. Well played by the North Melbourne defence. We see Brian Cordy get it out there to Bahaja. He goes for a pass, but it's a bad one, and Larkin's got. He's not playing a bad game in this first quarter of an hour or so.
5 possessions, Luke.
And a quick pass, and the series got it again. We were very impressed with the series last week against Carlton. He's a real old-fashioned rover as he kicks the ball long up there to Glendenning. Couldn't hold the mark, but pounced on it. Won't let anybody else get near it. Jonas gets a hand pass out to Demetrio. Steele over there to Asiri again. The little fella straightens up. The kick, will it make it? It has. What's the score? A point at the post.
2 posters.
2 posters in the first 7.5 minutes by North Melbourne. They moved to 1 goal, 8 points to Footscray, 2 goals, 12 points.
A lot of pressure out there by both sides at the moment, and Footscray putting a lot more pressure on this week than they did last week against Hawthorn.
Brad Hardy will bring the ball back into play. One of the favourites for the Brownlow medal. Lofty punt kick. Cracker got a little bit of a nudge there. The umpire says no free kick. It's picked up by Wallace ultimately. Now towards centre wing. Mark taken for Footscray by Groenewegen.
Well, play on.
He went over the mark, obviously. Up towards Edmund. Took a ripper mark here last week, picked up by Keith Gregg. Game number 300 to the dual Brownlow medalist. Siri has it knocked away by Daniels. Daniels recovers quicker. Ramsey, Jimmy Cracker and McPherson. Ridden into the ground. That's an interesting decision. Picked up by Demetriou. Siri can't gather it in. Close to the boundary line, over the boundary line. That was an interesting decision, but what did you see it as?
I saw it as a push in the back. There was no doubt in the world as far as I was concerned, and I thought that umpire James made a bad error on that occasion.
Knocked down by Purser, picked up by McPherson. Oh, that's a real hospital one, that one. Mark taken though by Larkin, position number 6. He did he what? They're the ones you hate. McDonald, yes, grabs it at half forward.
They've had most of the play. They've been into attack for most of this quarter so far, North Melbourne, Bob.
Yes, but they're not quite looking penetrating up on the forward line. They're not making anywhere near the amount of, opportunities up there. And it was interesting that Kevin Sheedy said to me this morning that, the reason he made those changes yesterday was the fact that they had the ball up on their forward line but were not kicking goals.
Be more penetrating.
Demetriou, long kick, off the hands of the pack and through for 1 point. 19 and a half minutes gone, 3 points the difference. Let's go back down to Peter Donegan now. And Peter, I think you've got some information for us on Ford. How is he?
Well, he's not too good at the moment, Pete. He's very groggy. He was unconscious when the trainers got to him.
Yep.
And he's now woken up, but they are going to take him to hospital for precautionary x-rays, so he won't take any further part in the game. He's still very groggy, but he is conscious now.
OK, thanks very much for that, Peter. In the meantime, play continues. It's a free kick to Footscray on the outer side. Well, Bob, they're in a little bit of trouble, aren't they, with Kellett sidelined and, of course, Ford going to hospital.
They certainly are, Pete, but it's amazing how sometimes these are just the little spark that need to really lift the side to greater heights.
And speaking of greater heights, that's not a bad sort of a grab to North Melbourne's Donald McDonald. Great mark. Smith, and he played a good game last week, didn't he? Smith, one of North Melbourne's certainly best players on the day. Demetriou actually steals it from his own teammate out there because it didn't look like being paid a mark. And Demetriou hustles the ball over the boundary line. It will be thrown in on centre wing outer side. 3 points the difference.
Demetriou and Daniels having a few words to each other.
Boundary throw in. Purser and Glendinning. Knocked down to Royal. The umpire's found a free kick. It's going to Footscray. Picked up by Purser. Is he over the line?
Got to go back and kick over his mark, Pete.
Otherwise it would have been a play on call. Now it's a play on call. Foster. High kick. Down to half forward. At the back, Edmund. Socked away by Bahaja. Mark taken by Bamblett. Oh, he gets around Smith, but only just. Chance for Steele. A high tackle going Footscray's way. I must admit I didn't see that. And it will be taken by Royal. Now Royal would almost be within kicking distance. He's about 50 metres out. Little or no wind here this afternoon. The flag's limp on top of the main scoreboard. Ideal day for football, certainly in contrast to yesterday at VFL Park when we had that fog and rain throughout most of the match. Brian Royal. Chance to increase Footscray's lead. It's dropping into the square. It's a goal. Great kick by the Footscray Rover. And the Bulldogs increase their lead on Seven's big lead. Footscray, 3 goals, 18 points. North, 139.
And as the sign said, go Choco. Chocolate Royal, number 33. And we see now the tackle. And he did ride Royal into the ground. And so now we watch the replay of the kick of Brian Royal right through the centre.
Well, we're back in the centre now, just over the 22-minute mark. Footscray doing well. The ball knocked out that time by McDonald. Grabbed by Royal again to kick their last goal. A chance here now for Law to mark the ball. He fumbled that one badly. Grunewegan picked it up, goes for the kick towards the goals. There's Ramsey coming out, caught one from Beasley. The umpire said too high, and he'll take the free kick down there in the back pocket. A hand pass coming over to Keith Gregg, playing his 300th game today. And McDonald, that'll be a free kick against Marlon, but he's called the play on rule there. As we see Cracker drive the ball long, up there towards his brother Phil. Phil's got a chance to break clear. He's grabbed, goes after it again. That's holding the man, I reckon, all the way.
All right.
And the umpire's paying that free kick. And these two guys are magic, the way they work together. Phil Cracker's kick is up towards McCann. He's got his hands on it, couldn't hold the mark. Down goes Foster, trying to get a hand pass out. Iseri's down. And the umpire's going to ball it up about 20 metres out from the North Melbourne goal. They're trailing by 9 points at the moment. 23 minutes gone of this first quarter. Bit of a scrimmage going on here now. Purser talking to the umpire. Over comes Kennedy. Having a go at Cracker. That's
Jonas settling down.
Jimmy Cracker trying to get him quiet. They'd certainly be saying things to Jim, I should imagine. That's part of the game, the build-up or the trying to antagonise players.
Sledgy.
Okay, it's Royal getting a hurried kick back over the centre-half back position for Footscray. Punched away by Larkin. Another scrimmage developing here. And this could be a ball up for sure at centre-half forward for North Melbourne. About 60 metres out from their goal. Footscray, 3 straight shots for goal, 18 points to North Melbourne, 1 goal, 3-9. Just on the 24-minute mark of the first quarter. Out it comes now to Larkin. That's kick number 8. I think he's at for the quarter. Falls a bit short. Glendenning, what a great mark. Set himself for that one all the way. Now he's only about 20 metres out on a very slight angle. As you can see there on screen.
Looking dangerous, Lou.
Well, he certainly started off all right, Bob, today, and I think towards the end of the match last week he was playing okay too, wasn't he?
Since he injured his knee going way back mid-season, he hasn't really played as well.
There's the kick by Glendenning. And that's a goal. So it's 3 points the difference at the 24.5-minute mark. 3 goals straight. Footscray 18 points to North Melbourne. 2 goals, 3-15.
Certainly an entertaining semi-final here at the MCG today, with both sides playing typical finals football. And on replay we see Ross Glendenning coming across from the side, what you could say in Royce Hart fashion, the way that Royce Hart used to come across from the side of the pack. An excellent mark.
25 minutes gone in the first quarter as we enter the time-on period. 3 points the difference. Knock on by the Footscray skipper Edmund Maylan. Chance for North Melbourne again to get the ball clear through Holt, who started off well for the Kangaroos. Up to left half forward, ball kept in play. Larkin will make it 9 possessions to Jonas. Glendenning at the back. Has he got that one? 5 juggles. I'll have to pay that. No, says umpire Glenn James. North Melbourne fans not happy. Was it a mark, Rob Stewart?
I think you can only... Glenn James must have felt that Foster was the first player to touch it. And Foster having the front position, he gave the benefit of the doubt to that player. As we watch on replay...
Foster definitely had 2 hands to it, didn't he?
Starting to look dangerous, Glendenning, isn't he?
Certainly is.
Holt again, playing a good game. McLean late on the scene. McCann too tall and got there first and fended off the smaller Footscray player to take the grab. Now McCann hit the post earlier with a sitting shot, but this time he's directly in front. For North Melbourne's sake, let's hope he can put it through this time. Taking plenty of time, not as long as Paul Salmon does though. 25 to 30 metres out. Crowd behind the goal, like it, it's a goal. And so McCann puts through North Melbourne's 3rd goal. 3-3-21 to Footscray, 3 goals, 18 points, North Melbourne by 3.
And behind play, umpire Robinson has really got his eyes on Demetrio and Daniels. They're having what you could call a real sledging match.
That's right.
Umpire Robinson having a word to both players.
And Shorty Daniels coming back there all the time too, Bob.
He's wanting to come back when the ball's not around.
We're still at it. 27 minutes gone in the first quarter. 3 points in favour of North Melbourne. The goal kickers McCann, Phil Cracker and Glendenning. For Footscray, Daniels, Beasley and Royal. Knocked down by Purser. Steele offloaded. Purser's hand pass out to Wallace and Footscray swing into attack again. Good mark taken by Ramsey.
And Ramsey, a very confident player down there in defence. 3 points the difference in favour of North Melbourne. They've had most of the play to attack. That's a good mark to Law at half-back. A hand pass coming over now, and young Crocker's got it there at centre-half-back. Boots it across towards centre-half-forward. Glendenning with Foster right on his tail, but he can't pick it up. Well picked up by McDonald's, not playing a bad game in this first quarter either. A chance for Cracker. McCann's got his hands, but couldn't hold the mark. Well picked up that time. Going after it now is Phil Crocker. He's down by Hardy. Hardy went without the ball. Picked up by Kennedy again. And they get the ball away from the danger problem. And a bit of a fumble that time by McDonald. That allowed Daniel to pick it up. And there's a good mark taken by Smith. North Melbourne looking the more confident, the stronger side at this stage, Bob.
Showing a lot more aggression, Lou, and I thought that Daniels was far too quick to get rid of the ball on that occasion.
Well, the ball picked up again. There's Crocker coming through from that wing position. Goes for a pass, looking for Doug Jonas, but it beats him and the ball is out of bounds. About 65, 70 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. North Melbourne 3 goals, 3-21. For Footscray, 3 goals, 18 points into this quarter by 28.5 minutes. Knocked out by Purser. Goes going through the pack as Hodgman picks it up okay, straightens up, kicks the ball very high. Looking for McCann, he flies. I think Cracker might have marked that. Jimmy Cracker's got a... yes, Jimmy Cracker's got the mark.
Well, he was the man in front, Luke.
That was a strong mark by Jimmy Cracker. There's no doubt this fellow will make the world of difference to North Melbourne today.
It's turned out right for North, but I think that McCann should have stood his ground and kept Kennedy away from Cracker on that occasion.
Anyway, Cracker's only about 25 metres out, just about dead in front, fires for the shot. And there it is, a goal. And that's Cracker's first goal.
Good kick one, of course, as well.
So the scoreboard, North Melbourne, 4 goals, 327 to Footscray, 3 straight shots for goal, 18 points. As we approach the 29.5-minute mark, we watch that in replay again, Bob.
See them going for the mark, and well, you could have raffled it between either of them. It didn't matter, and North Melbourne quite happy, as we see on replay Jimmy Cracker's kick going through.
North Melbourne starting to look good now at the 29.5-minute mark of this first quarter. The ball knocked out by McDonald. Bit of a scrimmage going on. Hawkins can't get clear. Still showing a lot of determination. He was grabbed, didn't have the ball. He'll take the free kick. And when they played against Hawthorn last week, he was about, I suppose he'd be well, he would have been their best player.
Head and shoulders above the rest.
The ball dropped short. Picked up by Bamblett. Goes for a pass, looking for Royal on his own. And he's only about 35 metres out, just about dead in front, as you can see there on the screen.
Chance for Royal's second goal. Daniels, Beasley and Brian Royal have kicked their 3 so far. 30 minutes gone in the term. It might be another couple of minutes still to go, because we had that stretcher case involving Michael Ford. But back with Royal. Pretty well directly in front. Footscray need one here, but I don't think he's kicked it. One behind. In fact, it just scraped in for that score.
They wanted that goal before the change, I reckon.
3-1 to 4-3. 19 plays 27. 8 points the difference. First semi-final action on Sevens Big League from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Knocked away by Wallace, who was the high flyer at the back. Sewell to Gronewegan. Offloaded, in fact, could have been in the back, but he could also be in possession down there. And he's also close to the boundary line. Umpire Ian Robinson certainly having his hands full here. Gronewegan looking for a free kick, but he's not going to get one, I don't think.
There's one player working very, very hard for North Melbourne. That's McDonald, doing a magnificent job.
Playing well at the moment. Gronewegan, Edmund, Law. Law might get there first, close to the boundary line. Tries to get around Bahaja, does so. Puts it up towards the half-back line. Jonas at the back, tried for the screamer, couldn't do so. Hawkins, always playing a good game. Never see him put him a bad one. Glendinning, Greg, in game number 300. Royal in pursuit, just about grabs him. He kicked the ground then, Keith Gregg. But well played, beautifully done from the dual Brownlow medalist in his 300th. Long kick up to the forward pocket. McCann tries for the juggler. Hit the behind post, it's out of bounds, and it will be a boundary throw-in. Right forward pocket for the North Melbourne side as the siren goes for quarter time. And the scoreboard on Sevens Big League, Footscray 3-1-19, trailing North Melbourne 4-3-27 at the MCG.